Well, your home address, your date of birth, your eye color, your height, even information about the car that you drive are among the details you don't want getting into the wrong hands, right? It's all information that you have to turn in, though, to the DMV.
So the question is tonight, who has access to that? In a Fox 13 continuing investigation, there's more evidence tonight that your state DMV information is getting into the wrong hands. Here's our investigative reporter, Tina Jensen.
That's right. The DMV sells your information to more than 75 third-party companies. The state says they're vetting all of these companies to make sure they have a legal reason to buy your private information. But we discovered some major red flags on the state's sales list, including companies who have been banned from buying the same kind of DMV information in other states.
There's really no verification process, as far as I can tell, that the state is verifying who these people are and that they're using the information in the appropriate way.
Driver Privacy Protection Act makes your driver information private and protected, and for good reason. Congress decided states shouldn't profit by selling private information about its citizens. Information that could put a person's physical safety, privacy, and identity at risk. But the law left open several wide-ranging exemptions that allow businesses to get your private information without your consent for things such as use in motor vehicle recalls, various insurance activities, research, and toll booth operations. And according to the state of Florida, a lot of businesses meet those exemptions. In the past 2 years alone, the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles brought in $150 million by selling personal driver information to companies in bulk. The state says you shouldn't be concerned about it and that they heavily vet anyone who wants to buy your information. In fact, a state spokesperson said that repeatedly.
Is heavily vetted. Numerous processes to vet, and all of those agencies are heavily vetted by the department.
And when you say heavily vetted, if we can go back to that, what does the state do when a company says we want to purchase mass amounts of personal data of Floridians? What does the state do to make sure that they are in fact using it for that purpose?
I'm sorry to do this to you, but I have to follow up.
We repeatedly asked the state to describe how they screen these companies to make sure they'll use your information legally. Several weeks after our interview, the state DMV finally sent an email saying the department vets these companies by confirming they have a registered business name with the state. And that's it. Attorney Brandon Robinson with Stetson Law says that's a problem.
All they have to do to get the records is basically swear by penalty of perjury that they're using that information for an allowed purpose. There's really no further checks than that. There's really no further balances than that.
And anyone can sign up a business name with the state registry.
Absolutely. You can file a fictitious name in a matter of weeks. You run an ad in the paper. If no one else is using that name, voila, you have a sole proprietorship with a fictitious name.
Fox 13 spent 4 months researching who has been buying your private driver information. What we found? Some of the companies don't have a Florida business registration. Other companies seem to have no footprint at all apart from a state business registration. No website, no storefront, no answer when we tried to contact them. Then there are large companies you may have heard of. The state of Florida sells your information to large data brokers like Axiom and Experian.
Will the witnesses please stand?
Both have been the subject of multiple congressional inquiries about how they use the information they collect.
And the average American is almost certainly unaware of the largely unregulated space in which these companies have been operating while they've been amassing detailed information about individuals' lives.
The federal DPPA law says the state isn't supposed to make your information available for marketing without your express permission. So how are data brokers actually using it?
And the entire point is to connect people that are creating data to people that want to sell them things. And that is marketing. That is the entire business model for them.
Patrick Tucker is a technology expert and the author of The Naked Future: What Happens in a World That Anticipates Your Every Move. He questions how data brokers could keep driver info entirely separate from their marketing operations.
Why would you collect all of this information from all of these different places across like the entire both online and physical world if not for creating better, more specific groups of people that you then sell to people when you do targeted marketing.
We discovered some of the companies on the state's sales list have been sued over allegations they misused driver data purchased from several states, including Florida. 2 federal class action lawsuits have been filed in the past few months. There's Dominion, part of a company called Crossell. According to a federal class action lawsuit, Crossell used private driver records in violation of the Federal Driver Privacy Protection Act. Florida is currently selling your information to the company for 1 cent per record on a regular basis. Then there's a company called National Recall and Data Services. According to a federal class action lawsuit filed against the business and its owner, Charles Hawley, the company released private driver data to other companies in violation of federal law. The state DMV in Texas cut off his contract to buy driver data. But the state DMV in Florida was giving his company a direct pipeline to your personal information until September 29th, one day after we asked the DMV about it. A spokeswoman said Hawley had been given 6 months to return an attestation that he wasn't misusing your data, and that he never did. Direct marketing ads are why Fox 13 first started investigating whether the state is truly keeping your private information safe. After attorney Brandon Robinson recently bought and registered a car, he started getting direct marketing ads too.
So it had to have been through the state records. Within a week, I mean, no one else could have gotten the information that fast.
The risk goes beyond junk mail. If marketers got a hold of your private information, who else can?
And that is the concern. Many of these companies resell the information online for a few bucks to anyone who's willing to check a box claiming they have a legal reason to access your information.
It's really amazing. If whose job is it? If it's this federal law, but we have this loophole with the state, who is supposed to be policing if they're not selling it to these reputable agencies that aren't at least in question? At least it's a question as to where this information is going.
Right. So the state is supposed to be following the federal law. The law applies to state DMVs. But if it's not, the Department of Justice can step in, but it's extremely rare. So a lot of the accountability comes through lawsuits like the ones that you saw there. But by that time, the claims of the damage have already been done.
So other than you, nobody else is watching it right now.
This is a very unreported issue so far, but hopefully we'll get a little more traction on it, and we'll stay on the story as well.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, identity theft, if there is some sort of a correlation, you're talking about $1 billion business that we can't have these loopholes.
And you always wonder how they get their information. Yeah. Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Tina.
Thanks.